In this video, we're going to smoke some beef ribs low and slow. We're going to build bark, we're going to render tallow, and we're going to talk all about it. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue, coming at you with another simple recipe on your smoker that you can do at home too. So don't be afraid. Follow along, try this yourself, tag me on Instagram, TikTok, here on YouTube, really anywhere. And I hope that you enjoy this recipe. Comment below if you like it. Make sure to share it with any of your friends that like beef ribs, and let's get into this. Check it out. At my local grocer Sobeys, I found an $8 rack of ribs. Now, you kind of need to understand what you're getting into with an $8 rack of ribs. But to begin, I'm using a simple barbecue spice. This citrus forward BBQ Spice by Big Cove Foods in Coldstream Clear. I just knew I wanted to try it on these beef ribs. I thought it would be perfect. So I went ahead after trimming off a little bit of that fat that you're seeing there. And by the way, $8 rack of ribs, we're seeing a lot of fat on here. So we definitely got to trim some of that down. And I'm hoping that it doesn't fully render like through between the bones, but we'll get to that here shortly. Let's go ahead. I realized partway through seasoning that I had a little too much fat on that cap too. So went ahead, pulled that off, got all that fat off there, and you can save that, right? We can render that down into tallow as well. Check this out though. So we're going ahead, a second layer of that barbecue spice right on top of these beef ribs. I think that's going to be super crucial here. It's really going to help us build a fantastic bark. That's pretty much what we're aiming for more than anything when we go ahead and smoke beef ribs. You want bark and you want to render out that tallow. So let's go ahead. We're going to run out to the pellet smoker. I'm going to set it at 250 degrees. And today, like always, I'm using a blend of maple, oak, and hickory pellets. I really like that blend. All of those are mild woods that do not leave too intense of a flavor. And together, I personally believe they blend fantastic. Seriously, check this out. Just place your rack of ribs down. That's basically all you got to do. We can spritz it, I don't know, every hour, hour and a half with either some apple cider vinegar, apple juice, peach juice, or really anything citrusy, even water is perfectly fine. When you're doing that, you get a little bit of moisture on the outside, and smoke really clings to that moisture, dries it up, but then remains on the beef and really generates a delicious bark. So again, we're going to spritz it probably starting about 2 hours in, every hour or hour and a half or so for the entire cook. And that is super crucial here, okay? Next, we're just going to chill. That's important. Patience is key with low and slow barbecue. If you're rushing things, you're probably going to mess something up. And I'm not exaggerating. The amount of times I have simply messed up basic recipes is countless, all because I was impatient or I just had to go. If you have a meat thermometer, that's your best play. We're going to let this run low and slow all afternoon until it hits 195 to 200 internal. At that point, we're just going to pull it off, wrap it in some butcher paper to rest, and see where it takes us. However, if you want, you can, if you're not as into the smoke flavor, if you don't like it as much, then at 165 to 170 internal, you can actually wrap these beef ribs with a little bit of tallow as well, in some butcher's paper, and that will help them finish off, but just kind of take away a little bit of that extra smoky flavor. Now, personally, I'm the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Obviously, I love that smoky flavor. So like I said, I'm doing the entire cook here without that butcher paper cover, okay, until the very, very end. I'm just going to let it rest in there. We're going to get as much smoke flavor on this as possible. Now, as we cook it, you can kind of see it almost looks like it's disintegrating. That's because the fat is rendering out. That tallow that we saw in there is just getting juicy, loosey, and leaking all over these beef ribs and inside my smoker. And that's exactly what I'm aiming for. Oh, buddy, no lie. I love beef ribs, and as they get to that like 5 or 6 hour mark, the bark just has me drooling and frothing at the mouth. Man, oh man, I love these kind of beef ribs. And you can see that bone pull is now happening. It's looking glorious. We got that bark. It's looking fantastic. But still, I'm not going to stop. I'm bringing this all the way up to 195. Now, you can see here the beef ribs, they're kind of missing pieces on the inside now. What does that mean? Well, it means we've rendered out that tallow. And it's something to be mindful of when we're going to slice into this, because it's going to kind of tear apart It's not going to have the same structure as it does when it has all that fat throughout it. Fat does hold it together. So when we've rendered it out, well, just remember that's kind of the structure we've kind of removed in a sense. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here are the beef ribs. After I've pulled them off, put them in some butcher paper with a little bit of tallow to rest. On the outside, that bark, it might look a little dry, but you just wait until we slice into these. These are juicy, loosey, bud. Not to mention that bark looks fantastic. Oh, buddy. I just really enjoyed that bark. The mahogany on it was just a 10 out of 10. We'll come to that in just a second here. It's kind of hard to see. So let's go ahead, take the beef ribs. Whenever you're slicing into beef ribs, you don't want to use a serrated knife. But since these had already fallen apart so much, it did look like I used a serrated knife. I mean, these were kind of wacky, but just check them out. Absolutely delicious. There it is after I took a big old bite out of one. Oh, yeah, that was so friggin' good. So moist, tender, and juicy, and just delicious, man. Beef ribs are fantastic like this. And the best solution, I think, is just rip it off the bone. You're going to shred it. That way you can make a sandwich, a taco. You can put it on top of Poutine. Like, it doesn't matter. You're really going to enjoy this. It's going to be seriously a 10 out of 10. So if you're going to try this yourself, I highly recommend you follow this recipe. And if you do, make sure you tag me on Instagram or TikTok or here on YouTube. It's all good. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. I hope you like beef ribs like I do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you did. Take care. Stay safe. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chat soon.